This video is going to be for people who are ready to go all in, who are ready to see the truth, who are ready to see beyond what they typically label as themselves. So I'm speaking to the ones who are already sort of familiar with maybe the concept of no self, maybe perhaps even have experienced no self, what that is. And so it's just going to be a very simple pointing of something that I have recognized to be true in my own experience, and something very helpful that I've been able to localize. So let's just get straight into it. I want to point you closer to the recognition of no self, that there is no self here that is pulling the strings, that is needed to uphold experience, that is somehow standing separate from experience. A way to see through ego, or the separate self, if you want to call it as such. But if I ask you to feel the sensation, or feel the sort of energetic imprint of pure knowing, like the feeling of what it feels like to know something, pure knowing, not intellectual knowing, like I know this, I know that, this is my opinions, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowing something. What does that feel like? Can you come up with words to describe that sensation, or that sort of, that knowing, the feeling of pure knowing? It doesn't flicker. It's not a feeling. It's not a sensation. It's not a feeling or an emotion. It's not a thought either. It doesn't come and go. It's not in space, right? Like you can't point towards this knowing. It's reassuring. It feels safe to rest in pure knowing. It feels like this temperature-less warmth, almost like being sort of embraced or hugged from the inside somehow. The feeling of pure knowing. Just sit with that for a little bit. And see if the words that I put onto it sort of describes your experience as well with it. See that it doesn't come and go. See that it doesn't flicker. See that it doesn't need any energy whatsoever from your end to be upheld. You don't need to uphold it, because it upholds itself somehow, that knowing. And it's always there, regardless if you're aware of it or not. It doesn't come and go, like I said. Everything comes and goes within this knowing. If you rest in pure knowing here, is there anything in your experience that is separate from it? Is there anything in your experience that is excluded from this sense of knowing? Or does it include everything? Does it entail everything? Now, the second part of this is to tune your sense of hearing towards the space, or towards the place where this knowing seems to be, where this knowing seems to come from. Listen to knowing. What happens there? What happens when you listen to knowing? It's knowing listening to itself. You listening to yourself. Most likely the mind will go pretty quiet here. What is happening here is that there's no gap between the knower and the known. The observer and the observed are merging here. So the perceived gap, where the separate self typically rests, the one that is labeling experience, the one that says, I am hearing this, I am seeing that gap closes, and the separate self, the illusion of the separate self, is being seen through. So we realize that when we listen to knowing, pure knowing, sound is just sound. There's no one here that hears. Colors and shapes and everything that is appearing in the sense of sight is just appearing. It's what is here. There's no one here seeing, because the one that is seeing, or the one that is hearing, or the one that is feeling or sensing or thinking is the separate self that is creating that perceived gap inside our experience, the one that is standing in between, sort of, or apart from experience. So when we listen to knowing, that illusion falls and everything can just arise and appear effortlessly on its own. There's no one here doing experience. There's no one here that is doing this. There's no one here that is talking. These words appear, right, and they come from somewhere, I don't know, but I don't have to choose every word I'm going to say. It just happens on its own. So I have practiced this, and I have done a lot of shadow work as well. If we have a very dysregulated nervous system, this practice can be kind of difficult, because there will be coming up a lot of stuff from the nervous system, perhaps, that it can be a lot of fear, a lot of shame, a lot of everything that is very uncomfortable for the nervous system, or for us, for the separate self to deal with. Lots of suffering. And so this really goes hand in hand, this practice of resting our attention on knowing. And in my experience, the easiest way to do that is to listen to knowing, because it closes the gap. And then at the same time, doing shadow work, healing our nervous system, releasing trauma, releasing stored emotions, allowing the body to feel. So we're not supposed to push the body away with this practice. We're supposed to remove the gap where suffering arises, where resistance towards the body arises. And when that is done, the body can process and release all of these things so much more effortlessly. And that's the beauty of this. We're not trying to transcend anything. We're not trying to transcend the body, or get rid of the body, or get rid of our experience, or anything like that. We're trying to merge the absolute, which is just the silence, the spaciousness, the everything that comes when we rest in knowing, when we listen to knowing. We're merging the absolute with the relative that is here, everything that is coming and going. We're seeing both sides as equally true, because we're here, right? We're not supposed to bypass this human experience. I did that for a long time, thinking that I needed to be high all the time, and it's not about that. It's actually about allowing yourself to be low. So we're not only ascending, but we're also descending. We're widening the bandwidth, you could say, of experience. Awakening is not supposed to be love and light all the time, because that's just the most bypassing thing ever. When we wake up, we actually learn to feel the lower states of humanity, of humanness as well. So in a lot of ways, it's also a lot of sadness. It's a lot of sadness. It's a lot of pain. But the beauty that comes when we sort of broaden the bandwidth is amazing. And it's like, it's truly that beauty that makes being human so beautiful. Pain and pleasure alike. It's like, I want all of it. We want all of it. It's so beautiful. So this is a practice for you if you're interested in seeing through the illusion of the separate self, learning to see what no self is, or if you've already seen that, you know. It can be very helpful to just keep returning to it, obviously. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.